Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel Charles Morse. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel Charles Morse. This month's comment decent, not offensive. And if you're not subscribed to the channel Charles Morse, please remember to hit that bell notification to get notification when the channel sees uploads. This is another video of why are most of these mass shootings and a lot of these brawls breaking out here in the United States? Well, it's because of, number one, poor parenting their kids. Okay, that's basically one of the reasons. Okay, obviously, there just is not good people around here these days. Alright, it's obviously just, like, now if I had to take a guess, 75% of the world is probably just has, like, 75% of the people just don't really have a head, versus the other 25 that have, like, a head. Alright, and use it right. Alright. Now, the people that don't use their head right, alright, those are the people that just, you know, they kind of just don't think right. They don't really, they really just don't know how to behave, alright? And they're obviously going out there in the streets, and they're freaking, like, fist fights with, you know, whoever. And they're really just, you know, a police officer said, and this was on News Nation, he said, these people that are going out there and doing this, committing these brawls, are basically people that just lost their mind. And he's right. He's actually just, you know, right about this. Alright? These are people that just indeed lost their head. They don't know what they're doing. Alright? They obviously just, you know, it's just what people just don't know what they do. They have no idea how they're acting. And this is the problem. This is a real big issue. Okay, I don't know how else to say it, but, you know, but there are people here that just don't know what they're doing. The parents just don't really do anything about their kids' behavior. Alright, they kind of just, anything goes with the flow, I guess. Yeah, to them, the parents are like, anything goes with them, and that just, you know, if there's anything with the child's behavior, that stuff, the parents just don't do anything about it. Alright, and you know why they don't do anything about it? Because, well, you know, I just don't know what else to say. I just don't know what else to say, but, you know, there are people that just, you know, they act like real crazy people. Alright? That's the whole that's what it is. Okay? These people act like it's really pathetic. Alright? Why is it that people just I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't understand why this just has to be like that way. And just why? But you know how it is. All right, you know how it's going to happen. You know that there are just losers out there in the world that just they're just people that well, the parents. The reason why kids act so pathetic these days, well, is because there's no proper parenting. And the parents should be pretty ashamed of their kids' behavior, alright? Because the parents just don't really do anything. I think probably at like 4 or 3 years old, or 5. Okay, maybe they threw their temper tantrums when they didn't get what they wanted. And then eventually the parent just gives in and like, right, you win. It's because, the reason why they do that is because they don't want to hate making their child just upset. Alright, they just hate. Like, what else would it be? Alright, what else would it be? What else would it be? Obviously, they'll just do whatever they want to get their way. Alright? The parent just kind of just goes with the flow. Yeah? And what's even more pathetic is that life pattern, that pattern of, if I throw a temper tantrum, mommy and daddy will get me whatever I want all the time. And, yeah, eventually, that behavior pattern just becomes ongoing, and then by the time that they are a teenager, they become more demanding of things. They become more they just get to be more, it gets even worse. it just becomes worse. And then, you know what? By that time, you know, it becomes real bad. It just gets real bad. And then, you know, by then, you can't really, like, you know, then, you know, it's just, you know, it just becomes a real big problem. And you know what? Then the parents got, real big trouble. It's all because of the proper parenting. Now, let me just get into the mass shooting and the brawls. Okay, obviously, these are the things that go on. Alright? These are the things that they just keep going. They keep on happening. Alright? These kids obviously lost their head. They lost their mind. That's the purpose of why people lose their heads. Okay? Alright. The sad part is these losers, they get themselves arrested. Alright, they get themselves arrested and they don't, you know, they've obviously lost their head. Okay? And yeah, you know why they lost their head? It's because they have no idea what they're doing. Alright? 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 Imagine if a 5-year-old threw a temper tantrum because he or she just couldn't have a pistol and a gunshot. And eventually, picture you, the parent, buy a 5-year-old a pistol. Okay? But you'd obviously keep the pistol like in a safe to lock place. Because obviously you want to keep it in a safe place until the child actually becomes like old enough to actually operate a pistol. Alright, which is like teenage years. Alright. And then the child just goes out and thinking that, oh, so if I can take this to school and I can just blow up anybody that I want. That stuff. Well, yeah. You know where that story would actually happen, you know, that would be, probably just end up being a, story that would hit the headlines. And they would say that you know, people would just think that you know, that you would be taking a pistol into school just to, you know, commit a mass shooting. Yeah. The sad part is that, these mass shootings happen because, well, most of it has to do with poor parenting. Most of it. Most of it. Yeah. So, not only would a juvenile just be in trouble for owning a pistol and taking a pistol to school and just, let's pretend it's like AR-15. Okay? Alright? And you were going to take that weapon to school and you were shooting up the students that you obviously hated with a passion. Alright, not only would you get expelled from school, but you would also go to juvenile school. Or if you were, or depending on what the law said, that if you're under 15, you probably would have to be put in prison, and you probably would have to you would probably just, I don't know, you'd probably be now I don't know how long you would actually be in prison for, but I can just say that probably most of your lifetime. And it's actually pretty sad that people would actually get themselves into that sort of trouble with the law and that stuff. Especially because the parents didn't do any proper parenting in the beginning. That's why these people are getting themselves into trouble. Alright? It's bad parenting. It's bad parenting. It's poor parenting. And it literally, it can be just overwhelming. But yeah, I just don't know what else to say there. Other than I'm just deeply disgusted. I'm just deeply disgusted. Why do these idiots just have to do this? Alright, I don't understand. I don't understand what people are thinking. But, this is just absolutely pathetic how people are. I mean, these days, this is just this is how stupid people are. Alright, parents don't know any proper parenting. And, obviously the next thing that you want to do is you want to be having, that fun with your partner. And the last thing that you don't want to do is just raise your baby until the baby becomes a toddler, and then a child, and then you want to stop there and not do the proper parenting. Alright, and this is the reason why we have these brawls just break out. We have these mass shootings that happen. It's because of people just lose their minds. Kids just don't know what they're doing anymore. Alright. Teens just don't know what they're doing. And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating how, how stupid people really are. And it's just, it's pathetic. It really is. I don't even know how many times I have to keep on saying it is that pathetic, but it is. Alright? And with the lack of parenting, that's also pathetic on the parent end, too. So, yeah. Most of the time that we have these stupid stuff happen in the United States, it's more because of the lack of parenting. Alright? Yeah, and I have to say it like it is, because you know what, this is pretty much the case. It's kind of the way that it is, I mean, I don't know, like, hey, I can just, admit to you that, I don't want to be taking care of babies. I don't want to be taking care of babies. Alright, the next thing that I would want is just a partner. Alright. I wouldn't, I wouldn't be having that fun. Alright. If I was thinking about doing that, then I'd have to think about parenting as well. Alright, and that is just one of the things I'm not ready to do. I probably never am going to be ready to do that. So, yeah, you gotta make up your mind, like, what you want to do. Alright? Because not everybody is cut out for parenting, no. Not everybody loves it. It's a choice. But it's not choice if you decide to have that fun with your partner. Alright? After that fun with your partner, then it doesn't become a choice. Then it becomes a more of like a part of both of you. Both male and female job. That's where mother and father roles play into parenting. Alright? And there, you gotta be serious about parenting. Alright? Not a lot of people are cut out for that. But, just to be honest, like I just mentioned, I would be sick of changing a baby's diaper and cleaning up my own baby's, disgusting, mess. I don't mean to gross anybody out. But yeah, that's what you gotta do. Alright? You gotta put, like, a fresh diaper on your baby. And it's frustrating. But here's the thing. You only have, like, a few years of doing that. Alright, and then eventually you don't even have to do that anymore. Eventually, when the toddler grows up to be like about 4 years old, you got the option of sending it to kindergarten or not. I'm sorry, preschool. Okay, and then kindergarten is the start of the child's school life, and then you get into first grade, and then you become a, well, you become, you become like the child starts getting ready for school life. You go through first grade to 12th, and what happens after that? Well, then that child has to think about college, getting a college degree and going off to work somewhere. All right, it's, if you parent your kid right and that stuff. But you gotta just think here. You gotta be really you got some real serious thinking ahead of you that you have to do. If you think that you're ready for parenting, then you can have that. If you think that you're ready for parenting or not, then don't have that fun with your partner. That's simple as that. If you're not ready to raise a child, then don't have that fun. It's as simple as that. Alright? So, I wouldn't, I wouldn't take that in, I don't want to, hurt anybody, but the reality is that if you're not ready for parenting, and you're not ready to raise a child, then you obviously should not be having fun with your partner. It's the reality of, it's the reality of it. It's the scientific of it. Alright? And you can't really argue with science, okay? So, I would just be, I would be, no, you got some serious questions. Think if, like, all the, brawls and the mass shootings out here in the United States have to do with, like, lack of parenting. Alright? And people just don't act how they're supposed to. That's the problem on the parents' end. Or if the child grows up and is an adult, then it's no longer the parent's responsibility for the kid. Then it becomes the child's responsibility. Yeah, that's when the parent doesn't have to be watching and holding your hand the whole time. Alright, that's a big one right there. Yeah, it becomes the child responsibility. After age 18, yeah, if he or she goes out and commits to mass shooting at that age, then it becomes the child's responsibility, not the parents anymore. And yeah, that's going to, that's a big one right there. That's a big one right there. Yeah. But, you know what? You know, it's not like anything goes. After that, alright, it's not like anything goes after that, alright? And, yep, it's just the way it is, you know? Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have taken what I've actually said in this video. I hope that this has actually gave you a real good look at the problems that we have here in America. And the reason for a lot of these mass shootings and brawls is because of lack of parenting. Alright, somebody really needs to take... Somebody really needs to take... Somebody really needs to think about how they're raising their kid. Alright, if you're not ready for parenting, simple. Don't have the fun with your partner. Alright, and you'll be better off. And then, make the world a better place. But, alright, yeah, and we need to stop this, we need to just stop with the, you know, we need to do something about these brawls breaking out and these mass shootings, because it won't be long until it actually is like, hits the headline. Do we want another 2023? I would hope not. But these losers just, they have lost their head. And it's simple as that. And we need to do something about it. Anyway, this is Charles Moore. Have a good day. I'll see you on the next video.